What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 Season of Plunder content. Of course, today the new season begins. We also had the massive reveal for Lightfall, and so it has already been a pretty busy day, but in this video we're going to focus on some of the Season 18 stuff. Specifically, we'll take a look at new exotics, that'll include some weapon stuff, the instant pre-order unlock for Lightfall, as well as new armor and gear, plus a quick look at additional announcements for Season 18, including the King's Fall raid, and more in the video. So guys, as always, I hope you enjoy this one, and if you do, a rating below really helps us out. But without further delay, let's get into it. The first thing to touch on today is one of the exotics that can be accessed immediately, and it does require the pre-order of Lightfall, and that's the Quicksilver Storm. So this is a new exotic auto rifle this season. It can be unlocked immediately when you pre-order Lightfall and the annual pass, and then you can pick it up at Master Raoul alongside some other items that are pre-order bonuses. In terms of what it does, it has the bonus rocket tracers, and we can see it's a 720 RPM kinetic auto rifle right here, and landing multiple hits will turn your next shot into a homing micro rocket. Then additionally, it has grenade chaser, and landing multiple rockets will load a grenade, and with a long reload you can switch it to grenade launcher mode. So you can see right here the weapon is firing, and every so many hits right there, it's firing off one of these homing micro rockets automatically. That will either track the target that you're shooting at, or another very nearby target. And while you're making kills, you're able to stack up 3 grenades for the grenade mode. So then if you do a long reload, it'll switch to the grenade launcher mode and you can fire off those 3 projectiles. Pretty interesting weapon right here. Hard to say exactly how strong it's going to be in the more difficult content, but it certainly feels like a pretty fun weapon to actually play with. And you can see right there that the launcher nades do a little bit of damage. So certainly a pretty cool weapon. Let us know if you're going to be pre-ordering to get access to that down in the comments section. However, then we have the Season Pass exotic. This is Delicate ToM, the new fusion rifle. It's a 500 charge time fusion rifle, and it comes with Traitor's Vessel. And it fires a wide horizontal spread when shot from the hip, and final blows with the weapon have a chance to generate ionic traces, and powerful foes and opposing guardians always generate ionic traces. Then it also has Tempest Cascade, and collecting an ionic trace overcharges this weapon's next shot, jolting targets on hit. A pretty interesting weapon there. It will also get a catalyst, and that will come via a quest at Banshee. Of the first step, we need to defeat 50 challenging combatants, as well as defeating 50 targets with special ammo. The second step requires 200 calibration data, as well as 450 targets defeated. Then we can return to Banshee to finish that catalyst off. The other exotic, which is classified in the collections in the game right now, is of course the raid exotic. Bungie have now confirmed King's Fall. It's even in the trailer, and of course it is Touch of Malice. The perks and things are hidden at the moment, but you can view a weapon ornament called Threatening Breath, which is a pretty cool weapon ornament right there for Touch of Malice. And it'd be interesting to see how the perks and things will work on that weapon in Destiny 2. But here for exotic armor, Titans get the Point Contact Cannon Brace. This comes with Hammer of the Gods, and defeating targets with your Thunderclap melee restores melee energy, and targets near you when you use your Thunderclap suffer lightning strikes. Being amplified will increase the range of the lightning strikes. So pretty cool and a neat aesthetic there as well. The Hunters though will get the Gaia Falcon's Hauberk, if I'm saying that correctly, and the bonus is See Me, Feel Me. Your weapon gains a bonus to damage briefly after you emerge from being invisible. And when you are invisible and defeat a combatant using a finisher, you and your nearby ally gain an overshield and improved class ability regen, and these reserve overshields can be deployed by using a class ability. So that's really cool. And finally, for the Warlocks, there's a really wild looking one here, the Fallen Sunstar, and it has Ionic Conductor, and ionic traces you create move faster and grant you additional ability energy, and nearby allies will also gain ability energy when you collect an ionic trace. Let us know which of those exotics you're excited to check out. Also, the season title is Skallywag, a pretty cool one right there. Be sure to take a look at all of the requirements. A lot of it is actually associated with the kind of treasure hunting side of this season, but it's going to be a cool one to chase down, and let us know if you plan to grind for it in the comment section. Final thing though, before we talk about some exotic buffs, in case you didn't see it, right here is the trailer for Season of Plunder.
Aramis has broken free. The old crew's now really under her command.
I've read about them. What is the human word?
Pirates.
The full vanguard should be rallied to deal with these outlaws.
Well, anchors away.
And go show those pirates what happens when they crush Spiderhead.
Float this rickety barge. You got the goods, Guardian. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, getting a little swept up in all this adventuring.
Now though that we've covered pretty much everything else, let's talk about some of the exotics worth pulling out of the vault alongside the update that we've had to the game today. So talking about existing exotic weapons and buffs that we're seeing, bear in mind that Bungie have added anti-champion functionality to a bunch of exotic weapons, and the Monarch will get intrinsic overload for poison arrows, and then Thunderlord gets intrinsic overload as well, with Malfeasance seeing intrinsic unstoppable, but specifically to the explosions from the weapon, and Bungie say they've added plus 25 to the base airborne effectiveness stat, which goes from 28 to 53 to match other precision hand cannons' intrinsic bonus. So it'll be worth looking at those as well as Wish Ender, which now has intrinsic anti-barrier, and they say they've increased the number of hits versus most targets from 2 to 3. More hits against vehicles, but still 2 against players. But additionally, they've increased damage versus champions, mages, and mini-bosses by 10%, with the draw time being decreased from 828 milliseconds to 820 milliseconds. Tiku's Divination also gets a small buff from the global change to lightweight bows. Of course, they've been buffed in general, but draw time's been decreased from 612 to 580. Then for Legend of Acreus, the catalyst has been updated and it now grants the Trench Barrel perk in addition to its other effects. And additionally, different versions of the exotic paired legendary weapons didn't have a matching stat, so they say they've brought them up to parity. But we also see updates to the Kalas Mini-Tool, and they've increased airborne effectiveness from 23 to 28 to match the Mida Mini-Tool. And Mida Mini-Tool itself has seen increased zoom from 13 to 14 to match the Kalas Mini-Tool. Then with Drang Barak, they've increased the airborne effectiveness from 21 to 23 to match the standard Drang. And Sweet Business also sees an increase in airborne effectiveness from 27 to 32. And they say that Fighting Lions Season 17 5% damage buff was rolled back as part of a fix for a larger bug, but this is being reintroduced and increased, so it now receives the intended buff, which is increased from 5% to 8%, and they've increased the grace time for the instant reload effect of Thin the Herd from 5 to 6 seconds. Finally though, for larger reworks for exotic weapons, for Lord of Wolves, bear in mind that they're decreasing starting ammo in PvP from 15 to 10, but it will be unchanged in PvE. They're also reducing the burst size, which is shots fired per trigger pull, from 10 to 5 shots when Release the Wolves is active, and reducing the burst delay, which is the time between bursts, by 60%, specifically when the Release the Wolves perk is active, and then they've decreased the Lord of Wolves base damage by 20%, which is designed to affect PvP, and they've increased the damage in PvE by 20% to offset that. Deadman's Tale will see the Cranial Spike perk adjusted, and it will no longer buff damage versus players, and instead will grant increased reload, aim assist, and range per stack. They say it still grants additional damage versus PvE combatants, but upon reaching max stacks of Cranial Spike, the catalyst will now increase hipfire RPM to 50, and that'll make it a 180 RPM scout, but it will deal reduced damage per bullet by 20%. The final one, if you have it, worth trying out, will be Collective Obligation, and they've increased the Void Leech timer to 15 seconds in PvE activities. It'll be unchanged in PvP, but they've removed the cooldown and added a 20% damage bonus against PvE combatants only while Void Leech is active. Additionally, it will take less hits to fully charge Void Leech, and kills against debuffed targets will instantly charge it, but it will also be instantly charged when your character is affected by Void debuffs, with the exception of hitting yourself with your own suppressor grenade. That one actually could be pretty good. For today though guys, that's what we have to round up in the video. It's time to go ahead and jump into the new season, so I'll be keeping you posted with more content. Definitely get subscribed and I'll keep you up to date. If you've enjoyed this video though, a rating really does help us out on the channel. And I hope you guys enjoy the new season. Otherwise, I'll catch you all very soon.